Brian Norman Sr. exposes the Haneys, Devin and Bill Haney, and he makes an admission that some people may not have known. So in this video, I'm going to break it down and let you know exactly what was stated and how it was stated. So it should be a good video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I watched an interview from Fight Hype with Brian Norman Sr., and he had an interesting reveal. For more on it, check the full video. Link will be in the description, and you guys can make what you want of it. I'm just going to paraphrase. I'll give you some quotes, but you guys do your own research independently as well. So Brian Norman said that it wasn't Devin Haney and Bill Haney who asked to fight Brian Norman, but instead it was Turki who kind of demanded it, right? And he says, quote, "This is how the fight was made. Turki Alalshikh brought Brian Norman to him. It wasn't Devin Haney and Bill Haney seeking this fight out," right? So that's how the fight got made. He says, quote, he has a contract with Turki and it's a 3-fight deal. One fight was Jose Ramirez, and then it was supposed to be Ryan Garcia twice, but with Ryan Garcia, he pulled out for obvious reasons. He said he was injured and he lost to Rolly, didn't look good in the fight, so there was no reason for that fight to be next, right? People were kind of like, Ryan didn't look good. So I guess they were trying to find Haney 2 other fights. Haney pretty much confirmed that. He said Boots was a name that they considered. So right then and there, this lets me know that what Brian Norman is saying is likely true, because Devin is on camera with Ring saying that he was presented with the Boots fight and he said, let's get it, but at 147. And he said Boots' team wanted to fight at a catchweight of 152, and he decided to move up in weight instead because Devin wasn't going to fight him at 152 with no fights at the full welterweight. So that's what Devin said out of his own mouth. Now, the reason I believe it is because if Turki is crazy enough to match a guy like Devin Haney with Boots Ennis at 147, when Boots was a unified champion, way bigger, you know, as a welterweight and way more established and Devin, at best, he had one fight at 144 where he didn't even look great. That just shows you what type of matchmaking Turki does. And I've already expressed my thoughts. You guys will see shortly what this type of matchmaking that Turki does to these fighters. I cannot wait, because I know what I know about boxing, and it's literally a matter of time. But more on that. Brian Norman continues. They gave us the first fight, and then he says, I do give Devin Haney credit for stepping up and accepting this fight, but he didn't seek this fight. It gives us the opportunity to put his name on our resume because it's a well-needed name on our resume. Meaning this will probably be the biggest name that Brian Norman has faced. So he does still give credit for, in the end, Devin Haney stepping up and fighting his son. But now it's making a whole lot of sense. Boxing Ego, the best in the business, and it's not even close. In my previous videos, before the fight was announced, I told you I didn't see it happening, this fight, because it was a super dangerous fight for Devin Haney, right? He didn't look good versus Ramirez. He hasn't fought at the full 147, and Brian Norman's coming off arguably his best win, or best knockout at least, in his career, right? And I didn't think the Haneys would take the fight, but now it's making more sense. Devin Haney doesn't really have many options. He has no outstanding relationship with Al Heyman. He's outgrown 140. So fights with Tank aren't likely because Tank's at 35. Tank's the A side. Tank's not going to come fight you at 147 where you're bigger just because you want an advantage or because you can't make weight no more. Lomachenko retired, so you can't really run the rematch. Teofimo, they tried to make that fight and it didn't happen. And what are your other options? You know, BOK wanted to fight with Devin Haney, and then they went and did that media workout and pretty much begged Turki for a look, and he gave him one. But the thing with Turki's matchmaking is the Jose Ramirez, since it was kind of on a card with Teofimo, Rolly, and Ryan, I don't think he so much cared. But Turki has made it abundantly clear he's not a charity, so he's not just paying top dollar for fights he don't want. He told Boots Ennis that. He's like, Eddie Hearn and Boots, they got it twisted. This is not a charity. I'm not just letting Boots do a tune-up and then I'm paying it. He said, Eddie Hearn go do that. Let Eddie Hearn, give Boots a tune-up and organize it. But it won't be a ring Riyadh season fight. So best believe that since Turki gave kind of a charity type of fight for Devin Haney, considering he was coming off getting cheated by Ryan and stuff like that, which was Jose Ramirez at a catchweight coming off of a loss, he's not doing it again. That's what I've seen about how he match makes aggressively. You know what I mean? So now it makes sense. I truly feel the Haneys didn't want or prefer Brian Norman, but they're kind of cornered. They keep, celebrating Turki. So they're like, oh, Turki. And they want to be aligned. And the Ryan fight fell apart. The Teo fight fell apart. Who else was there really to fight where you would make that type of money? Maybe Richardson Hitchens, but it wouldn't be worth the same type of money. So they're kind of forced into a dangerous fight with the Brian Norman. And for me, this is kind of a dumb fight. And I really want to see this fight. And I'm a boxing head. So I'm going to explain why I say it's a dumb fight. As a fan, I don't care. It's not my career. I'm going to see somebody get knocked down or knocked out or win. I don't care as long as it's a good fight. So for that reason, I don't care. But I'm saying from the standpoint of a business, it's kind of a dumb fight. Brian Norman is still working on his profile, and he has no names to match Devin Haney type of brand to this point. And he has no fights at 147, and you just thrust him into a fight with a mega puncher with momentum. That could spell a lot of problems. At the very least, even if Devin won, it becomes a do or die fight where it's like sink or swim. And that's part of the game when you're working with Turki. And Turki, he's treating boxing kind of like a video game, kind of like toys, where the toys get broken and then, they're broken. It doesn't seem to be a real guidance plan. Like every other promoter, when you don't have the money that they're willing to waste with Saudi, right, is going to run differently because you're trying to build a future star and a future champion. Turki, he's getting these guys and it's like bumper cars, right? He's like, oh, Bacoli versus Joseph Parker. Oh, you got crushed. Come back in 2 weeks or 2 months or whatever and fight F.A. Ajagba. And then his next fight going to be dangerous probably. You know what I mean? So it's really like bumper cars. And that's not good for building careers. So this is a do or die fight for Devin Haney. And I truly believe now, hearing what Brian Norman said, he was forced into it. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new. But even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.